Okay, hi everybody. Let's get started. This is a NASA photo PIA 16453. It's a NASA rover Curiosity shot from its Mastcam camera. It's shooting from Rockness, and it's out toward Mount Sharp, which is off to the right. Now, in this photo are some very unbelievable objects, and I'm going to be zooming in on an area which has humans, and there are also humans and their machines. So I just want you to be prepared, and we're going to zoom in on this hilltop. Here we go, and I've circled many interesting things, but I'm going to zoom in on the first object that I ever found in this photo, which was really stunning. So I'm going to zoom in, and it's this object right here, and then I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to let you make the decision as to what that might be. But I'm going to zoom in again, and to my mind this is a person who was walking in this direction holding a bag, and that was really amazing just to discover that. And then I'm going to zoom out a little bit to get some perspective, and then I'm going to zoom into this area here. And this to me is a female. You can see she has a lighter complexion, fairly long hair. Let me zoom out just a little bit. She's has her hand or she's has something on this rock spread out, and there appears to be another individual behind her, who in this photograph anyway appears to have a blue shirt, who's facing in the other direction. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now, as you can see, there are pathways or walkways throughout this image, and there also appears to be a walkway that goes here, and this is actually an arch. There is some kind of object here, but you really can't make it out, that goes back into this area. So let me back out a little bit, and I'll zoom in on the fellow with the bag. There we go. Let you get a nice tight shot of that. Now, this object here appears to be somebody with a hood, and I believe these objects, which are white and have the dark holes, if you will, I believe these to be parts or portions of their protective suits, because I believe that they wear these suits most of the time, or they need them for survival. But this particular day appears to be nice, so they've actually taken their suits off. And the reason I could say that is because we can zoom into this area right here, and it appears to be at least 3 individuals either wearing suits or in the process of taking their suits off, that appear to be coming out of a lower sheltered area. You can see this is squared off, and that there is a little walkway here where this female can access. And I'll pull out. So there appears to be a portion of a suit here. This appears to be someone who's crouching and looking in this area, and then we have some other suits or portions of suits in the back. Now, I think, guys, we can relate to this. This appears to be a gentleman who has got his leg either half on or half off his pants. You can see his arms, and you can see he's sitting, and he has his leg there, and he may or may not have a beard or some facial hair, but you can clearly see a humanoid shape, and he appears to be taking his suit or pants off. Now I'm going to zoom back out, and there are other individuals in this. There's other individuals up here, over here, in here, up here, and I'm going to zoom out. Now there appears to be people right here on some kind of lounger, believe it or not. There we go. I'll zoom out a little bit more. Now it appears that they've come to this area on transport vehicles, and I've circled what I believe to be those. This appears to be a really cool looking vehicle. This is another one. This appears to be another one, and it looks like it might have an individual standing right on it. And this is my favorite because this is a standalone image, and it clearly shows maybe an individual or two standing on it, and it's clearly some kind of device, and I'm calling these transport vehicles. Now this I circle because it's some kind of machine. You can clearly see definition, and then it goes down into this area here where there is a lot of other materials and details, and this appears to be some kind of film, or I'm calling it like a fabric stretched over. It could be any kind of material, like a wooden plank or a board or some kind of piping, but it definitely appears to be translucent because you can see shadow through it. And I'm going down to another fascinating image here. This image here very much appears to be, I mean, this could be a dog or some other kind of animal, but it certainly appears to be an animal. There it is right there. I'll zoom in pretty tight on that. Now I want to make this a fairly short clip, so I won't dwell too much, but you can see that there's an enormous amount of activity on this hilltop, and this essentially appears to be almost like a day at the beach here on Earth, except we're here on Mars, and the temperature here appears to be and I've done some research on this, this could be 70 to 80 degrees plus, and that's why this is probably a treat for them to enjoy themselves, take off their suits and enjoy getting whatever the sun they can. So I'm going to zoom out. Now there are other groups of these humans to the left and to the right, and there probably are several hundred from what I can tell. So I'll zoom in one more time so we can see. So here's the gentleman with the bag walking in that direction. Here's our lady friend. She has something spread out on a rock with somebody behind her. Here's some other individuals here with their suits still on. You could clearly see them within reason. And then somebody's crouching here on a rock with their protective gear very close by. And then we have this animal object here. And there are there's probably 1,000 objects in this entire image, which is huge. It's about 130 megabytes. So you need some significant hardware to manipulate these images. So we have the transport vehicles up here, and then we have everybody having it looks to me like a relaxing, good time, as wild as that seems. And here's another great shot. I just wanted to zoom in on this. This appears to be people laying down with the male figure on the bottom and the female on top, and they appear to be completely relaxed with the female covered, just like here on Earth at the beach. So this appears to be a device. This could be a heater, or it could be some kind of oxygen generator. Who knows? But it appears to be directly lined up over them. Okay, so we're going to zoom out, and there's the hilltop. And then I'm going to zoom in on this object, which was really amazing. and I'm going to call this the a Mars eagle, because this appears to be a bird, and it's perched on some kind of twig or pipe or something, where it's clearly standing on something, and then you have another animal-like object behind it. So I'll zoom in a little bit more on that, and then I'll zoom back. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom back, and there is one other area I want to show you, because I could spend hours, literally hours, in this photo just pointing amazing things out. Now this object here has been picked up by other people. This is a this could be a sculpture of a bird. This could be a rock that looks like a bird, but it's clearly covered with Martian Mars dust or sand or whatever material is present has been blown all over it. So there's definitely layers of material on it to hide the finer detail. But I'm not focusing on this image. Right next to it there appears to be the Martian equivalent of maybe a mouse, and I circled him, and he's standing right there, cute little guy. And then next to this appears to be a metallic, some kind of metallic object with a metallic bar coming through. I just wanted to make note of that, but I'm not really want to focus on that because there's so many other objects. The main objects I want to focus on is this object here. Originally I had thought that this was some kind of animal because it's very easy to look at it and say it's some kind of gopher or mole or something, but on closer examination I discovered that this is actually a machine, and this is a tunnel boring machine, and you can see it. I'll zoom in. I don't want to zoom in too much because then we'll get over pixelated, but you can clearly see that there is a tunnel here, and it's coming out of the tunnel, and this is some kind of retaining wall, and this is a wheel. You can clearly see a radius there, and this is another wheel. You can see that there is a radius there, and then at the front, let me zoom back just a little bit. You can see that there there are all kinds of cutter wheels in here. So as it goes into the material that it's digging out, you can clearly see it has serrations, and it looks like it's very efficient for creating some kind of excavation. And then to clear the material from the sides of the machine, on closer examination under high def, I made out that there are side cutter wheels. You can see, maybe you can see that there are serrations on the sides of these wheels. So these will be rotating, and they'll be cutting into the excavated material and channeling it away. And there are several of these along the sides here. So I'll zoom in a little bit more, and then I'll zoom out. And then I circled some other objects here because we're at the limits of viewing technology, but I can clearly make them out having working with these images. Now this is some kind of object here. This looks like almost like an animal object, but I believe it could be a suited kind of robotic kind of object, or it clearly has shape, form, arms, legs, head, eyes, and some kind of nose. It has a head and it has a body, so it's there. I just wanted to point that out. Now this here is human that to me has his arm in some kind of access area in the machine itself. So he's actually performing some kind of maintenance on this machine, and you can clearly see he's well, I don't know if you can clearly see, but you can make out that there is some kind of individual. It appears to have a white shirt and maybe some brown pants, and he's got his arm inside the machine, standing right there. So maybe he's checking the oil. So this is obviously some kind of machine coming out of a tunnel, and this is the pathway that the machine has been traveling, and it goes up into, let's go back, this is the machine here, and it goes back up into this area where there's all kinds of other very interesting activity, but I want to keep this clip kind of short. And like I said, I could spend hours talking about this image. It's absolutely, the amount of information in this image is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, and there's one other image here that I do want to point out, which I found very interesting. This appears to be some kind of tractor, and it's pulling, it appears to be pulling almost like some kind of like plow or some kind of machine, or who knows what they're doing, but it definitely appears to be kicking up dust. You can see the dust around what we would consider to be wheels, and there appear to be humans on top of it right there. So I'll zoom in a little bit, and you can see it right there, and then I'll zoom back out. So this could be related to the digging operation. It looks like it might have some cutter wheels on the side, and in the front it might have some other excavation related kind of equipment, but it definitely appears to be in motion. You can see where the wheels would be, some dust being kicked up. So this image has a tremendous amount of information, but it's a gigantic image file. It's about 130 megabytes, so you really need some serious computing power to be able to manipulate these images. So I'll just pull back, and this is the public release of this image, and this is what everybody sees, and this is what everybody thinks that's there. But if you do a real forensic close examination of this image, and you do need the proper software and hardware to be able to do that, there is just thousands of interesting objects here, not to mention the humans themselves and their machines. So I just wanted to point this out, and I'll leave you with that. I have many other amazing images which I will post shortly, but I'll leave you there, and God bless and take care.